everyone. Welcome to this episode of Entrepreneur Showcase Series brought to you by Patranya Media LLC and Parkway Media Partners. I'm your host, Patranya Poonswan, and joining me in studio today is Dida Clifton. She is the CEO and founder of The OfficeSquad, based right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dida, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So great to have you. And, obviously we talk about entrepreneurs and business owners, big or small, just kind of the passion behind starting their venture. And you started the OfficeSquad quite a few years ago now, right?
Long time ago, 21 years.
21 years, right here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Okay.
My husband got stationed at Nellis Air Force Base. I put the kids in school, and I started a little bookkeeping business from home.
All right. So military wife and mom. So at the time, obviously a lot of people, when they start something, it's because they feel like there's something missing, like they can offer something. Was that something? What was happening at the time that you felt like this would be a good business for me to start?
I came from a family of people that wanted to do something for themselves. And so I've always tried that. I sold Mary Kay, I did baskets, everything, trying to find what I could help with.
So you were an entrepreneur before even this
started.
In your own way.
But everywhere we went somewhere, I would, get involved in the community and do something. So you can't get a job or hold a job when you're a military spouse because we move so much.
Yeah.
So I learned how to do bookkeeping and QuickBooks while I was a volunteer with the Wives Club.
Okay.
Started a couple of thrift shops and learned how to do that. That's what you volunteer for.
Right.
So when we got to Nellis, I figured we'd be there another 3 years. Let's do something I can do virtually because virtual assistance was just becoming a very popular thing back then.
Okay.
So I made my own website. I started sending a resume to people that were asking for a bookkeeper. There were the old days when it was fax your resume. So I did that.
Remember. Yep.
And I got my first bigger client was a dentist office here in town. And I ran around from place to place.
That's how it started.
Bookkeeping.
Yeah. And so it became OfficeSquad, the OfficeSquad.
It actually started as this really long name, which is a good lesson for other entrepreneurs.
Okay. It needs to be catchy.
It needs to be catchy. It needs to describe what you do.
So what was the long name that you started off
Dida's
with?
Virtual Assistance and Bookkeeping.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And
well, I mean, it was very accurate. That's what you were doing. Yeah.
But then it's all about you.
Okay.
So when you grow a business, it cannot be about you or you're just growing a hobby.
So you see, okay, so this is about my clients. What do they need? They need kind of the full array of services. That's what you discovered.
They need support.
Support, yeah.
My husband is a veteran. I am also a veteran. So I spent 6 years in the Air Force working in a military fighter squadron.
Oh, wow.
With hot fighter pilots.
Very cool.
And so I had to learn how to do it keep that squad running effectively. And I was an operations clerk.
Yeah.
So it taught me about support and the urgency of things that need to happen and structure and procedures. So I used that knowledge when the light bulb came on that, oh my God, these people need support. And I started the OfficeSquad.
That's amazing.
A way to help them. Yeah.
And both of you, you and your husband are veterans, and thinking of, when you were starting this business, were people in the military I know you reach out to a dentist's office, but were you reaching out to people in the military as well, or veterans or families that could use your services?
At that time, no. I didn't use the veteran card until...
Because a lot of people do.
Yes.
They were targeting military families. But
I didn't use that wasn't... I don't think that was a thing 20 years ago, to use that past, I guess. Now it's huge. There's the women's movement and, and veterans.
Yeah. Back then it probably wasn't even your
small
concept.
Businesses. That was just it.
And talk to me about those challenges. Obviously, 20 years ago, things are much different in the way that people get the word out about business and their business and things like that. What was the biggest challenge for you just starting this off and getting it off the ground?
Well, it wasn't noticed at the time, right? You don't see those mistakes until later. But I thought I knew everything. I didn't listen to others. And if I did, it was, okay, I listened and now I'm going to do it my way. Yeah. Almost like a kid. Don't touch the stove, it's hot. Well, let me see. Is it really hot? I could have done this so much faster if I had listened to the advice of others, which is why the franchise came about. Yeah, I joined the North Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And then I just sat in my office and waited for it to make money. You can't do that.
That's not how it works.
No.
Yeah. So once you start getting out there and finding your customers, what were kind of the way that you make that personal kind of interaction work? Like when you go out and meet these businesses and say, oh, I don't know, I can do this myself. I don't need your service. What was the thing that you had to tell them and say, okay, this is something of value that you bring to the table?
Yeah. When you start a small business, all of those things you can do yourself. You know, I did them. You did them probably.
Yeah.
You can answer the phone. You can do your bookkeeping at night or on weekends, and that's great. But if you're doing that, who's growing the business? So eventually you get a little bit bigger and you go, okay, well, I can hire a person. So you go hire one person and then you throw all of that at them. And they don't know how to do all that stuff. I did that. I hired my daughter, my first person, hired my daughter. And I put her in front of the front door on the phone to answer the phone. And then I go, oh, well, the phone's not ringing. So I got to give her something else. So I taught her how to do bookkeeping.
Right.
And then she complained, because she's your daughter and not your employee.
Right.
Your employee is not going to tell you that they can't. She would go, well, when I'm doing the bookkeeping and the phone rings, it annoys me that I'm being interrupted from one job to do another job. So if you hire one person and you put all that on them, it's just going to fail. So that's why we have a squad of people. There's someone to answer the phone and actually answer the question that the person on the phone is asking, not just forward it to you or take a message. If we are your business back office, we can actually answer that question. Then we full charge bookkeepers that are accountable and trusted and insured, and they work under one roof here in Vegas. They don't work all over the place. So your books are not all over the place.
I see. Yeah, so things that you don't think about as a business owner until you have to do them, right?
Yeah.
And then you've been through that process. So, you know, I know we have some pictures that we wanted to share with our viewers, just kind of give people a sense of what you do. And I know you have two different offices. So you have the one up north on Gowan.
North Las Vegas.
North Las Vegas.
Well, actually, it's Northwest Vegas off of the 215
And you've
Cheyenne.
had that for a little while.
We moved in that particular space in 2020. We were in a prior executive suite location for about 10 years prior to that. We just outgrew it.
Got it. So now you're in the space there. And then you also just recently opened another office here in town.
Right. Again, just straight down the 215, right off St. Rose. It's like before
in Henderson,
even the red
right?
light.
215 in
Henderson.
Henderson.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now you have two offices and you have that presence here. And tell people again, if people haven't heard or haven't worked with you, what are all the different services that you offer there at the OfficeSquad?
Let's take it from beginning to end. How's that? You start a business.
Okay.
You need a phone number. You need an address, a professional address, so all the junk mail is not coming to your house.
Right.
We do that.
Okay.
We have full charge virtual bookkeeping, and we have the technology. So you don't have to go get QuickBooks. That is our specialty, QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop.
Okay.
We host QuickBooks Desktop, and we can get you QuickBooks Online at a reduced fee. We actually include those in our membership, so they're free to you.
Got it.
QuickBooks is going to charge you $70. So,
but this is part of the membership.
It's part of our membership fee, which, by the way, is not long term. It's month to month. It's just a way of me explaining that you are part of our wing, a part of our flight, and we will take care of you.
Got it.
Okay, so you got your address, you got your phone number, you got your bookkeeper.
Okay.
You got your receptionist who's answering those questions and booking schedules.
So your work numbers just go straight to this person.
All of that.
Okay.
Yep. And then if there's a question about bookkeeping, you can go to the bookkeeper.
Okay.
There's a virtual assistant to do all of that administrative minutia that no one can put their finger on until they have to do it. So they ask me, what do you do for admin? It's kind of like, what do you need?
Yeah.
Everything.
You customize it to your clients, basically.
And we have a manager that manages it all, so you don't have to manage it all. You talk to the manager, and then
So you check in? I mean, as a business owner, you call and check in with your manager, once a week, or how does it work in terms of communications?
It depends on the services that you're using.
Okay.
So if you're just using bookkeeping, you're going to have a lead bookkeeper that you talk to
Got
for your
it.
account.
Mm-hmm.
If you are, it's kind of the same as having your own office full of people. When you need something from that person, you're going to talk to that person. But if that person is sick or quits or something else, then there's always a backup. In the military, it's never about one. There's always a backup. So I hear a lot about how my bookkeeper disappeared, my bookkeeper quit, my bookkeeper retired, and now I don't have anybody. And you have to retrain and you have to rehire.
Yeah.
With us, you don't have to do that.
So you have that plan kind of already instilled. So something happens, you always have a backup.
My oldest client has been with us for 14 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And he has seen more bookkeepers and more receptionists than he probably cares to admit, and I care to admit, but it always flowed to the next person. And he didn't have to worry about it. We did.
And talk to me about having this kind of business here in Las Vegas. Is this kind of an ideal market in some ways to grow and expand and do these kind of things for your clients?
There's small businesses everywhere. Vegas is a booming, growing city, especially with all that's happening in the next 5 years or so. So all of that growth is supported by small business. And that's exactly who we help.
Yeah. So tell me, if people are interested in working with you, what's the first thing they should do? Should they start looking at what their needs are before they even reach out to you and talk to you?
No. They probably don't even know what all they need. But there's something that they don't want to do. Let's say it's the bookkeeping, or they're not happy with who's doing the bookkeeping, or they're not getting their P&L in a reasonable manner of time. Go to the website, theofficesquad.com. Check us out. There's a contact page. You can fill in the contact page, tell us kind of what you're interested in, and we will give you a holler and just chat. Just see, how's business going? What does it need? What would you like it to do? I even do a COO. I'll come in and look at things and see if everything's running smoothly and how to correct that.
Yeah. And I think that's, like you said, something special about having this as a local place for local business owners. Because a lot of times people can hire virtual assistants now from halfway around the world, right? But having your staff here for the local business owners, that makes a difference for you.
That's a huge difference for me. And I've gotten a lot of pushback on okay, you want to scale this thing. Why are you putting it in a building? Why can't you just do it remote? Well, everybody's doing remote. Somebody's got to do it different. And the Office Squad has a bar in it, for crying out loud.
Really? That's a selling point.
That's a selling point. It's a place for business to come. The camaraderie that we had in the military. Once you're in the military, you are always in the military, even if you're not near it. And I want it to be that way with the small business world. We have people that we've met in BNI or LaTip or, like us today. We'll be friends for years. And the common place to do that is at the Office Squad.
And that's where you also offer office space for people to come and work as well, right?
We ring the happy hour bell at 4:30 on Fridays, and the tenants can come out of their holes and come say hello and meet the bookkeepers and meet the admin. And we do a Finally Friday at the end of the month where vendors and associates can come as well.
And I know you all pretty open about the price points of different services that you offer as well, and that's a big part of what you do.
We are not hourly, which makes us different, and we do everything by task. So it's how many bank accounts, how many transactions go through those bank accounts. And we put together a membership package that includes a very detailed list of the tasks that we will do for you on a recurring monthly basis. And you pay that price every month. No surprise overages at the end of the month, none of that. And till you have, you get bigger, you have more bank accounts, then that's going to change.
Right.
But I learned early when I was doing this for, $15 an hour years ago. You sell 10 hours and then somebody has you do 20 hours. And so the next bill has the 10-hour retainer plus another surprise 10 hours that no one told you about.
Right.
Small businesses can't do that. They need to know exactly what it's going to cost them, and that's the way we work.
Of course. Anything else you want to put out there for people who haven't heard about you, want to make sure they get more information? What can they do?
Oh, please just go to the website or give us a call at 702-649-3495, and the cheery voices at the front desk will talk to you.
That's awesome. Any last word for other entrepreneurs out there, maybe thinking of starting something? I'm also a military wife, by the way. My husband was in the Coast Guard for many years, and now he's a realtor. So he totally switched careers.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people do that. They want to start something of their own. What's your advice for people, you know, launching something and finding that passion and wanted to kind of follow through and make something for themselves?
Take your time and search for the one thing that you want to do. I've attended a lot of networking events in my time as an entrepreneur, and that person that stands up and says, you know, I do this and I do this and I do this. Pick one and be really, really good at it.
Yeah.
And then you'll stay there.
Right. Great. Well, Dida, you've actually really done very well with your business and how you started and where it is today, and definitely getting the word out about it it's wonderful. So thank you so much for joining me on the show today, and best of luck to you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you so much for watching this episode of Entrepreneur Showcase Series, and we'll see you again next time.